was Papino, Zeke Black is in the building. Last night I was on the show yesterday with 050 China Brim. They were speaking about Crips, and they were speaking about Crips in New York City. And the first time some may have heard about Crips in NYC. Like I said, every age group is different, every generation is different, depends on your zip code and geographics. Um, well, the first time I heard about Crips in the state of New York, as in not being in New York City, was a good friend of mine named Bob Brown from Harlem. Rudy Lowe knows him. They was locked up together in short Bob. He was in Attica. He was in Attica with a guy named Sly Green. And he was explaining to me about the Crips, the LA boys, the situation with my man Bob. I can't tell you what year I remember that Bob saying that they was together in Attica, but whatever year that, I guess this is around the time when they first snatched up Sly Green and his team. He was in Attica. So whatever year Sly Green was in Attica, Bob Brown was like his cell right next to him. We knew Bob Brown from Attica. Um, for those that probably don't know who Bob Brown is, Bob Brown had a brother named Patrick that ran with Tim and them from the Bronx. He got murdered in North Carolina. He was running with some strong guys that was from the west side of the Bronx. And if you're in the streets, you know what I'm talking about. We're gonna stop giving up zip codes and locations. If you know, you know. Now, the first time I heard of Crips in New York, it was like on 118th Street. And maybe because I'm from East Harlem or from Harlem. But the first time I heard about the Crips from New York, it was the money era still. It wasn't gang culture too much in the streets. It was still block crews. And they was on 100 and, I just seem like 117th on the back block, 118th Street between 5th and Lenox in New York City. That's considered Harlem on one side. You go to the Lenox Avenue side, the 5th Avenue side, well, that is on the west side because the side of the block that they're on is when you go to Forster, there's two 5th Avenues. You got the east side, you got the west side of 5th Avenue. For those that don't know. So when you say you're on 5th Ave, what side you on is what I'm going to ask you. Are you on the Taft side or the Forster side? Because you got 5th Ave on both sides. It's just that when you go to the Forster side, it's west 112. When you go to the Taft side, it's west east 112. So even when you're going towards 118th by Millbank, whatever we call them buildings, them brown buildings, them tall brown buildings, where Bonnie Motion was allegedly getting some money at with that water, they on that side. So that's like the west side. So basically that is the west side. It's not really the east side. That's really the west side of 5th Avenue. Now, to give you more geographic, they call it Marcus Garvey Park. If you keep going straight, you'll run right into Mars Park, which is, Mars Park is the place where, Mars Park is where, self-destruction. When you see Kumodini is rhyming, that's Mars Park. Mars Park changed its name to Marcus Garvey Park. It's all the same. It's still the same crowd is still out there, no matter how gentrified that part of Harlem is. Now back to the content. The first time I heard about the Rolling 30 Crips, the Harlem Crips, was because there were some guys that was getting some money, and it was alleged that these guys was dealing with these guys to get some certain product. I should have to say the guy's name made both men rest in peace, but they're Harlem legends. There was some type of business going on with these guys. These were the first. They used to call them the cousins. Show the cousins. But it was still the money era, so it didn't explode until the 9 trade cats was going at it with them. But it was the blood and Crip war over there that was crazy. You may have heard of the Chi, rest in peace, Chi. The homie Shabazz, from Harlem, he got hit. You know what I'm saying? So it was a bad war. But as crazy as it sounded, when they actually raided the block, you had some Bloods, New York Bloods, that was sort of their co-defendants. The first time I heard about them was the early 90s. Late 80s, early 90s. But like I said, those was $1 million blocks on Lenox. 118th, 119th, 120. Those was $1 million blocks. So we didn't care about dudes being Crip because Crip culture musically was in New York already. We had the NWA music, we had that West Coast vibe. I don't say Crip, but just that West Coast vibe. NWA had a big influence in New York. Eazy-E had a big influence in New York. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube, big influence in New York. So we already had the slang a little bit, and sometimes you Snoop Dogg had the influence, but before Snoop had that influence, I would say NWA for me. NWA, some Too Short. Remember sitting in the ghetto and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Too Short. These guys had an influence, but then you actually had Crips. Now, what convinced the first time I seen them was my cousin. You know what I'm saying? My cousin, baby moms, lived over there. He was like, "Yo, Z, coming over there on Fifth Ave." You know what I'm saying? I was over there with him, and he was like, "Yo, my baby mom, this way, these is Crips." You know what I'm saying? But like I told you, it was the money era. So it wasn't like, you know what I mean? The streets wasn't transitioning. Whatever was going on in jail definitely wasn't going on in them. These is $1 million blocks. Like I told you, these blocks is 118th, 119th, 120. I know y'all was out. If you was outside, you know. And I'm not going to be specific about the years now because just know that when I first heard about them, 1989, 90, 91. See, when I heard about them before then, they were saying because a certain individual was getting a water from a certain branch of Crips in California. That was the rumor mill on the streets. If you dudes was around these dudes like they'll say it was, then y'all would know that son was going to, that was the talk. He was going to California, out. Now, the first Crips that I seen, they was the Rolling 30s. You know what I'm saying? And this is early. But like I said, the music is like the neighborhood, but that influence was in New York already, musically wise. Like dudes was listening to Snoop Dogg all day, Dr. Dre all day. You know what I'm saying? Like we talking about Master Society and the rest of that stuff. But like I said, it was the money era, so nobody really paid no attention because we knew the dudes that had that block. These dudes was money cats, so it was a different game. 118th Street was $1 million block. They still be to this day. Those was $1 million blocks. You know what I'm saying? If you see a bunch of dudes with blue flags, it was just a fashion thing. Like, yo, some of them dudes got, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of dudes are saying, yo, what up, cuz and cuz. That cuz lingo was a conversation because you look at it because of the music that was out. You know, MC8 had an influence in New York. They used to play that song, Don't Be a Menace, in Ron G parties. You know what I'm saying? So the influence was there. Didn't it make sense when they would play like Don't Be a Menace and dudes start tossing C's up? We thinking like, it's just, you know, that's that, the influence was in New York. I forgot to say MC8. Definitely after he played that scene in Men's Society, dudes, everybody wanted to be MC8. Shout out to MC8. But yes, it was the big influence. Definitely salute King Crips in the building. Definitely salute. So they was getting money. So the first time I seen Crips had to be like 1990, 89, 90. The conversation was in the air. Harlem, Rolling 30 Crips. I don't know what destination, what island they came from, but I just know that they was there on that block. Their movement was on that block. 1991, 92, they was definitely outside. The conversation I first heard of Crips was two connects, two kings in New York was dealing with Crips, happened to be the same type of Crips, but going to LA getting that water. If you don't know what water is, then you're my age, then you need to get off the line. Then stop trying to figure this out. Definitely rest in peace to King Dave, though. You know who King Dave is, then you know it is what it is, man. Like I said, these dudes was getting money, so it was a different type of time. You go through Lennox and see dudes with a bunch of bloom, and you thought nothing of it. Like I told you, that was just, because the culture was here. The culture was here. Way before Men's Society and all that came out, because the music, we was into NWA. Even though Tim Dog said F Compton and certain dudes wasn't jacking them, we was jacking them. I remember riding around going to re-up, playing with RNs. So, you know, all that shit came from NWA language. That lingo they used to be spitting all day. Gangster. You know what's so funny? I done seen like 4 remixes of the song Gangster. But the first time I heard Gangster was Ice Cube and the Eazy-E. Gangster. Here's a young yo short inside t-shirt bandana with his only disguise. Think about when you first heard the first Gangster. They just shout out to Eazy-E, NWA. They made the first one. You know what I'm saying? We was running around like this. Dudes had white tees on with the game hats and all that. We really was on some DOC, San Antonio Kings and all that, and LA Kings and all that. This was a culture. We were snatching the culture up. We went from drinking Old Gold to cyanides. You know what I'm saying? For a couple of good summers. This is how good the culture was, man. So the first time I heard about Crips in New York was back then. You know what I'm saying? But they was getting money. Then in the 90s, and the gang culture from jail or whatever, it caused block beefs. And you had the nine trades, whatever other hoods, allegedly that was going to war. Certain homies got shot, a B&C war. They swept the block up. A couple of dudes go from conspiracies. That's why I want to be playing for you on dates, because you got some dudes that's trying to get out of jail. So you don't want to start mentioning dates and what you remember and say the wrong thing. And you don't know who's got an appeal to get out of jail. Like, yo, I seen online, he said that such and such. Such and such said boom. But if you was outside, you just was outside. So the first ones I say, and it doesn't mean I'm somebody, was doing Rolling 30 Crips, Harlem Crips. And they was representing, they was getting money. They wasn't getting chased around. They wasn't getting punched in the face. They didn't have to check in because they was already here. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure when the Blood and Latin King War was going on, there wasn't the Blood and Crip War in 9394. I'm pretty sure that wasn't happening. But who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there for all that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure that all that came after. You know what I'm saying? That's how New York got it. We got a lot of us, you did on the nose. All that in Jersey, we just thought, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even really know it was the gangbang was out there like that. We just thought Jersey cats was crazy. Only thing I'm gonna be honest with you, we used to say Jersey cats, Newark and all that, when they smoked Angel Dust and Patterson and they robbed dudes and they carjacked. We wasn't carjacking in New York like that. They was. But the one who's a guy from my block that was Muslim, he had ties to Jersey City and Newark because his friend with the Muslims, my man Yusuf, he used to tell us about all this crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this gang. So we was educated about the gang culture because of my man Yusuf from Park Ave. Y'all know Yusuf from Park Ave. You know what I'm saying? He been going to Jersey. Y'all know when Yusuf could pop out, he pop out like 50 Muslims. Them young boys ready to go. Remember, Yusuf was our age. So he would tell us about what Jersey, like, what's that Jersey shit that we carjacking? He would put us on to, yo, they got Bloods, Crips, they got all this other shit out there. He's the one that really put us on to what was going on in Jersey. Because you got a large area of black Muslims. He come from them. My man Yusuf from Park Ave. This is see, but see, a lot of times I try to keep it medium on this joint, you know what I'm saying? I try to keep it medium in these conversations, but you know, you on the block getting money. Word, you got Crips out there, Bloods. Only difference out there, they was gangbanging. They was already putting in work on each other. But then when the rap music started coming out with Tretch and dudes was like, boom, you got the thing in the paper with the double nines getting snatched by the feds and all type of craziness. We was like, yo, they bugging in Jersey. Remember, we looked at people in Jersey as people that carjacked. That was wild. Unless you went to Jersey. Unless you was going to Jersey to get money. My tie to Jersey was Yusuf from my block. He would tell me stories. My man Yusuf, you know what I'm saying? Yusuf still running around making major moves. I know Yusuf from the east side. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't an old Muslim. He was our age. He just used to bring them Muslims back. So, but we wasn't going to Jersey. So rest in peace to my man True. He went to Jersey, situation, have my man True. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to True. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I heard some, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to True from the east side. My man Tim's brother. You know what I'm saying? He went to Jersey. He got, you know, some shit went down and he got murdered. But nobody still never said nothing about, yo, there's Blood and Crips out there. They used to tell us about shit in conversations. Like, what? Y'all bugging. We used to be like, yo, because we still on block shit. Like, you bugging. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? That's what's going on in Jersey? Remember, niggas is knee deep in the streets in East Harlem. We talking about the last years of $1 billion blocks. Yeah. Dudes was going, like, nobody was going, I'm going to Jersey. I'm going to Newark to hang out. Nobody was saying that. That's what goes on now because of this culture. Nobody was doing that. I'm pulling up on the homies in Patterson today. Nobody was doing that unless you had a reason to go there. Nobody I was around. Dudes that I knew that went to Jersey, they're going to those nice middle-income neighborhoods, Garden State Mall, going through the backside blocks. They was going through, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't go, yo, son, we chilling in Newark getting sauce today. That wasn't the conversation, man. But you know, that's just me. Got something speaking from my eye. Now, when I was in Albany, there was a bad war, I guess, with the Bloods and Crips. Actually, to be honest with you, the Bloods and Crips, I heard about, that was all in the 90s, whatever. And, you know, so look where we at now. Now, you got some that when I was incarcerated, on the eye, that when they came to jail, that didn't come out the closet, because I guess some of them are allowed to low ride. Or maybe that's just what some do. I met a Crip named John J from Long Island. He wasn't low riding at all. He's Crip in the building. He was Crip in the building. I met some Crips that just, man, I'm Crip. What you gonna do? Run me out of here? I seen some Crips that held it down, so don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot that they went to Jamaican services, and then they get shot or some become Muslim until somebody out them. Yo, son, I'm gonna tell you who out Crips. It don't be Bloods. Be honest with you. It be neutral niggas, fans of the homies. It's Papino. It be fans of the homie. Way we in the building. That's who we East Side, exactly, East Harlem. You know what I'm saying? That's who blow them Crip niggas up. We don't pay no mind. It's always a neutral nigga. Yo, I was in the 4-bone with he Crip. What? You know what I'm saying? We got our own shit going on. What? Then we'll watch them, and a lot of them that don't come out the closet, they play their local towns. Like, I know front, them Long Island niggas stick together. They get with their little circles, boom. Then you got some dudes that they just know certain dudes. They might be Crip, but then they get around like a D-Rock who don't like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Boom. Good thing, great. Wavy was there in Green. They were doing the same thing to the homies in Green in the 90s. Boom, Wavy was there. He was there. Dudes was, you know, you had, I know, even that Latin King War shit going on, there had a lot of dudes that was like, nah, I'm not a homie. A lot of times what blow the homies up is a neutral nigga. Yo, he was boom, or he was boom, or he was boom. And then that's when, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it just depends on where you was at and who you was around, man. I mean, I'm not here to just, I'm just saying the facts that I know, my facts, not everybody else, but my facts. When the Crips that was in the street, they was holding it down. I can't speak about their time in the penitentiary. They was getting money though. They did transition to some gangbanging, but they was still getting some money though, because they actually swept their block up. So they block actually caught a Crip block. They caught a case, those Crip niggas. You know what I'm saying? So the money never stopped, and actually some homies was they co-defendants. So when we're speaking upon this, right? When we're speaking upon this, it's a touchy subject for many, but I'm just giving from Harlem perspective. They've been in Harlem since like the late 80s, early 90s. They've been there, rolling 30 Crips. Yeah, I don't know if they ran the 6-point star, I can't tell you that, but they was getting money. So the money superseded. These were the crews that still out though. You still had back then, what you still had running around, man? You had Purple City still running around. You still had the lynch mob on the east side running around, the lynch mob on the west side running around. So nobody's about no bloody Crip shit, you know what I'm saying? You still had the crews running around. You had the Black Top crew, you had the YTCs, you still had the Sugar Hill 141s. So nobody was really thinking about that culture. Like, yo, the Crips on 18th Street, just check them out. The only other, but you had gang culture, but nobody paid it no mind. Like even in my hood, there was transition that was made when some dudes went to Kansas City and came back and changed sort of the game. Those are the first dudes that we physically seen that was talking some gang shit in our face. But they wasn't Crips. They was claiming something else from out the Midwest. But definitely, you know, shout out to my man Mont Dog, Sean Black, rest in peace, Pooch Dogs, Cecil, I see you, I heard you home. You know, Get Well, Derek, D Blood. I don't know why I call him D Blood, D Dead, you know what I'm saying? Get Well, Derek, you know what I'm saying? That's the name of a few, you know what I'm saying? If you was outside, you know, you know what I'm saying? You know, my man Ty Home, shout out to Ty Home, you know what I'm saying? That's the bro from Carver. You know what I'm saying? Another generation. And then I'm gonna be honest with you, man. As much as you may hate certain people, and whatever the case may be, A good example of somebody who was around them, who I would say parents is around them, was a young boy named little rap guy, the rapper, man. He be going at these cats all day. They go back and forth, salute, salute, salute. He was around that. He was around that culture in Carver. No, Tito Mario, I mean Hakeem, and all that. They was around that culture. They was amongst that culture of the transition of when that West Coast, Midwest flow came in New York that we seen in our face, as in bandanas and guns. And that's in my neighborhood, East Harlem, definitely on the lower part. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, hope you enjoyed this, man. Shout out to my man Jay Ski from 104th Street. You know what I'm saying? Mad Massimo. That's my guy. Went to school with him. We had a bad situation over a situation that happened with my friends, but you know, it is what it is. But Jay, you still my guy. You know what I'm saying? From 104th and Park. You know what I'm saying? The first guy I ever attempted to get money with was my man Jay. Legend. He brought me to 111th Street in Lex. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But that's shout out to my man Jay Ski, man. I made a good friend, another friend, Julio from Tav on Charles Street side, Madison. You know what I'm saying? We all went to Norman Thomas High School together. My man Wiggs, this is for you. My man Ed Medina, this is for you. From Washington, my man Chola, Uno, the TDT crew. Before TDT crazy on 131 and everything just transitioned to that, you know what I mean? That's East Side shit. We were still crews. These dudes came up with bandanas in our face. But just to let you know, the first time I seen Crips was the early 90s. The first time I heard of Crips being in New York, dealing with New York, was the late 80s. True Legends was dealing with them dudes. So they was on money time, you know what I'm saying? That gang banging shit wasn't here. It was people dying, yeah, but they was dying over money. They wasn't dying over flags. They wasn't dying over an oath back then. With that being said, I hope y'all appreciate it. I hope y'all like the content. I'm gonna bring it to y'all. With that being said, I love White Southern Belle. Yeah, Washington Urban High School is downtown on the Lower East Side. It's on 14th Street, about 14th Street. Washington Urban is downtown. The high school that's in East Harlem that I know is Park East on 105th Street. That's the high school. And Park East and Manhattan Center are two high schools that's in East Harlem that I know about, unless you got some new shit. You got these charter schools and those other stuff. But the only two high schools I know about, and there's another school. There's a school that nobody speaks about that's in New Metro called Performing Arts. It's in New Metro and it's backed by the FDR. It's a school that you have arts, like, you know what I'm saying? The tap dance kid went there to PA, Performing Arts, the school that's in the back of, you got New Metro, then you got Metro North across the street, then you got East River. I believe that's 101st Street. On 101st Street, between 101st Street, when you have to go through when you walk through the middle, there's a school right there. Then you got 99, Junior High School 99, which is across the street, that big high school. Then you got Metropolitan, the sanitation trucks. That's, you know what I'm saying? But the only two high schools I know, Washington Urban's on the Lower East Side. Like Stuyvesant High School's on the Lower East Side. All that shit's on the Lower East Side. Yeah, Washington Urban, that's on the Lower East Side. You know what I'm saying? By the LES, by 14th Street, that new place over there. Facts. Maybe Dean Bacon, I believe, is down there too. You know what I'm saying? That L train, that infamous L train, 6 to the L, whatever. That L train bring you to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I gotta go. I appreciate y'all. We gotta feed the wolves and feeding the wolves. You know what I'm saying? We gotta feed the wolves. Man, I don't know. I don't know if he ever banged on him. I know he was outside already. A lot of them might have been his friends already. Like, you know what I'm saying? But he might have got caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That I'm just because there's no future in fronting. I don't get paid to be more than who Zeke Black is. You know what I'm saying? I get paid to be who I am, and it's just who I am. I just have to be around a lot of people. You know, I play in the streets a lot, so you play in the streets, you gotta do the network. But forget all that. What I'm saying is, do I know? I can't speak it. Do I know a couple of people that he was messing with? I probably went to war with them, most likely. But he probably really didn't get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? You know me, because he was, remember, when that gang culture really blew, he was on tour. Cameron's first album. You gotta keep in mind, he was around Cameron. He was around a different set of homies. I gotta check out. I gotta check out the information. But I don't know what you're talking about the young girl who was shot. But you gotta check out you have to check out timelines. You know what I'm saying? There's a time when Jim Jones was actually on tour with Cam, or in the studio with Cam, or busy running around with the whole Cam situation when Cam was rapping. You know what I'm saying? So he probably didn't have enough time to get caught up in the whole gangbang thing. But you know what I'm saying? He was caught. Your man's. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he had a bunch of homies that got caught up in that. But with that being said, I definitely appreciate y'all. Thank you for pulling up. I'm gonna check out what you said with that, about the shooting thing, and that's the first time I heard about Crips. Harlem Crips, all the 30s. It was in Harlem, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, 118th, 117th, 5th, Lenox, West Side. Remember, they're on the West Side part of Fifth Avenue. There's two parts of Fifth Avenue. You got the East Side, you got the West Side. You know what I'm saying? Just to be clear. So when I say I'm from Fifth, what part of Fifth? Schaumburg is on the East Side. Forster, West Side of Fifth Avenue. Central Park is on the West Side of Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? It's on the West Side of Fifth Avenue. East Side of Fifth Avenue, PSA 5. Remember Housing Police? That building on the corner. That was shout out to 050 trying to bring movements in the building. Those are the differences. So yes, the first Crips that I ever seen was on the West Side of Manhattan. Fifth, boom. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what I mean? And that's just ones I heard about. Then, years later, Brooklyn. Then you heard about Garvey with the folks and ABGs. All that shit was crime, fan, all that other stuff. But the first ones I heard about was them. Now, there might be some that might say there's some in the Bronx, whatever, Brooklyn, Queens, the Moon. But the ones I know about is there. That being said, I don't know who their OGs was, because remember, dudes was getting money. So you was working with somebody block, yo, well, homie, what hood you claim and all that shit. Dudes was getting money. This is block days. You still have block crews still running around these streets. So believe me, as much cripping as they was doing, they was still following the block formation, the block rules. Don't kill this, don't do that. They was still following black structure. Definitely shout out to my man, my man Cuzzo from, my nigga dudes on my block. Rest in peace, Tone Lopez, Hill Ho Crew. Rest in peace, Superman, Yellow Top Crew on my block. He had yellow tops on my block, allegedly. Lexington Avenue, he had yellow tops. Rest in peace, Superman. Yellow Tops, rest in peace, JJ Poodle. With that being said, appreciate y'all. And I'll probably do a live tomorrow morning. Just keep the juices going. But definitely that was dope content yesterday from 050 trying to bring movement. That was a dope show. You brought Duke from California. And we see things differently, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that gangbanging, it was neighborhood-wise, but a lot of that shit was flowing through these schools like jail. And these neighborhoods got bigger and bigger, and everybody just had to hear a story. The LA boys I ain't gonna front, they was out there in Buffalo though, you know what I'm saying? But you had to go upstate to realize that. So they did exist. They was out there and they was bugging Niagara Falls and all that, you know what I'm saying? You have a strong influence. That being said, I love y'all. Peace.